off and on the clock. We got the full crew back in the saddle. We got some preseason news to discuss, maybe some ways we are altering our current plans in drafts. And then we got a fun idea for a draft we're going to do. We're going to hop in a puppy 3, but the goal is to be the opposite of a value hound. We are going to set a rule where we have to make every single selection ahead of ADP. Okay, so no scrolling down. We got to be reaching for all of these picks. I'm Pete with John and Nez. Let's do it. All right, John, Nez back from vacation. How was it?
It was great, man. I had a great time. It's a little different now that I got a little guy, and my nieces are another year older as well. So it's just way different than just like, okay, we're going to the beach and getting good and drunk every day. Can't do that anymore. Now we got little kids and everything. So, but it was nice to get everybody together. It's because the first time, well, not the first time, but my parents hadn't seen Mello in a little bit, so it was a nice wholesome vacation. John was making fun of me because I don't have a tan, but like we use sunscreen over in this house. I don't know what to tell you, man. I'm not out here to catch rays. I'm trying to stay healthy.
Honestly, it shouldn't catch much heat because I show up with the red face like after every single weekend. So you're going right by it. But
nobody works harder.
It looks like you brought the beach umbrella back with you, man. Put it behind you there.
Yeah, I'm trying to I'm playing around with this backdrop here. I've got these like panels of kind of like noise, like echo canceling panels, and also like making it less like bright behind me. So I'm playing around with a new backdrop here. We'll see. We'll see if it sticks.
I like it. I feel like you could have requested some gold ones to sprinkle into the honeycomb there. One, it kind of like blends with our off and on the clock background, but then
it does
Pittsburgh and your underdog branding all with a few gold ones interspersed in there.
Yeah, I might have to see if I can peel these things off the wall. They're pretty damn sticky.
Put some yellows on top of it, like
okay. Yeah. Little texture, like you said, kind of like our little backdrop here.
Exactly. What was your did you get some drafting in at the beach, or were you full dad mode?
Of course. What are you talking about? I was doing a little always like tinkering with the auto drafts, but like was doing mostly slow draft catching up while at the beach when I had a moment time to do that, because I was on the clock in quite a few slows and playing catch up for most of the day. But the beach is just such a great slow draft location, man. I'm not afraid to be on my phone at the beach. I'm not there all the time. I'm not like scrolling. It's business, right? I'm taking business to the beach. So that's what it's all
there
about.
You go. John, you celebrated. I guess we both celebrated our anniversaries over the weekend as well. How was your weekend?
Yeah, man. That was good. Yeah, it was nice. Up in Whistler there. Got some golf in. Wandered around. Had some nice dinners and stuff. Great. Can't complain. 1 year happily married.
Very nice. Congratulations. Let's talk some ball. I will be the first to admit I didn't watch any preseason, but I have read multiple matchup utilization columns. Ben Gretsch, Dwayne over at Fantasy Life had a great one, so I feel like I'm caught up here. But did anything catch your guys' eye week 1 of the preseason?
I watched a little bit. I went back and watched like some recap stuff. They replay the games on NFL Network and stuff like that too. So I was tapping in ever so slightly. I want to give like a random shout out here to a site I discovered literally this morning. I think it was Josh, fellow ship chaser, who retweeted it for everybody. This one called Stat Butler. Have you guys ever heard of this?
No.
Visualization charts. I'm going to put it in the chat for everybody, and I'm going to try and find the guy on Twitter so I can retweet it. Visualization charts of every single snap played from every game, tracking who's with the first team, who's with the second team, whatever, in like one like graphic, and it's all free.
That's cool.
Yeah, so that's what I've been messing around with this morning when I discovered that. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Tyler Shuck had a really nice throw, and Jackson Dart was kind of fun. So that's cool for the scroll the F down last round to inspire me for a new third quarterback target after Anthony Richardson turned his pinky in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
That was
the
gross.
Anthony Richardson run out is pretty crazy. I mean, I did an eliminator draft this morning before the Swolecast, and like I got Daniel Jones with the last pick in the draft. So like there's still like that lag on, the post Anthony Richardson enthusiasm. What about you, Nez? Anything pique your interest?
No, I mean, like, yeah, I didn't sit down and watch any preseason stuff really, but for me, like, I kind of have like a very like no fun stance on the preseason where I almost like try to avoid it because I know how receptive I am to like dumb stuff. Like I could very easily make some major shifts on my priors because of that, seeing like real actual football and like seeing what guys look like in pads again. And just because some teams played and other teams didn't, like I'll be I'm very human in that regard. So I try to like avoid it to protect my priors and protect, my drafting principles. But the one thing that I will say that I am sort of like, just because it does back up my priors was the running back rotation in New York. I thought that was pretty interesting. How many different running backs mixed in with the first team. But these teams are not showing us anything, in the grand scheme. But I mean, every single running back mixed in with Justin Fields. I thought that was at least a little interesting, right? Like, I'm willing to take something away from that.
Yeah, and the thing I was thinking about was I'm like most interested in veteran usage, right? Because we just kind of know how this stuff goes with the rookies, like they're buried. The whole reason we get excited about them, the whole reason we draft them in Best Ball Mania is it has like nothing to do with what they're going to do in the first few weeks. Now, yes, it does. If you're drafting, RJ Harvey in the 5th round or Trevion Henderson in the 4th, like you're going to need some early season production, but I'm talking about sleepers, even guys like Jack Besh, who I've enjoyed dunking on. He's like now 180. Pat Bryant, pretty rough run out for him in the preseason, but it's also like, these are rookies that weren't drafted in the first 2 rounds of the NFL draft. Like, what do we expect? Like, the whole point is that they're going to get showcased at some point at the end of the season where they could spike. So yeah, the veteran usage stuff is most interesting to me. I wrote up in the newsletter too. I thought the Chigakonkwo preseason usage with the starters, 100% snap rate, really solid target share relative to the receivers. If they're rolling out Van Jefferson and Tyler Lockett, like, man, it seems like Chig could be a really big beneficiary if Cameron Ward is good.
Yeah, that's a good shout there, Pete. 100%. I'm looking at the chart right now. 100% of the snaps. Gunnar Helm was out there for 2 of them. But that's a good one because he's not a guy that I've been mixing in at the back end of draft boards unless I had Cam Ward. Like it was like, now I think I should be doing it a little bit more than the K-Dot and Mike Gesicki tier, like just guys to consider there because, we noted he's freak athletically the last couple years there and just needed a larger target share with better quarterback play.
Yep. So we'll see. I mean, I said it when I wrote up the newsletter yesterday too, and it's like, you don't want to overreact. You don't want to move off the priors like Nez said too much, but on the other hand, it is literally the only data point that we have right now, or it's the newest and most relevant data point relative to nothing. Like in the absence of nothing, it's still a data point. But yeah, I thought the guys on ADP Chasing had a good conversation about it as well too, where some of the ways it's like, we read into literally every single thing. Like we're on Twitter this morning diagnosing like what 8 woozy emojis and a Pinocchio emoji means from Tank Bigsby. I saw someone mention that it could have been like someone said he got truck sticked in practice and he was like mad about that subtweet or something. Like it could be something as silly as that or whatever. But yeah, like back to the the usage, it's like, it could just be the team says, hey, each one of these guys is going to get a series and then we're going to freak out about who gets first. I do agree with Nez. The Jets one is interesting because it looks like they're more evaluating like the roles and what they can bring to the offense and like things are more fluid because that usage was pretty different, I feel like, than how a lot of teams, roll out their running backs in the preseason.
Yeah, the juxtaposition, I think, between how the Jets use their running backs and the Jags use their running back is interesting, but I do think the context – if we're trying to like cope our way into like how this can make sense for our bags, like, I think the context just like makes a little bit of sense maybe. ETN showcase potentially. We do have two brand new coaching staffs in both these instances, where one decided to show everybody, but like, we didn't get that in Jacksonville. But if we did get that, like, would Tootin just be like flying up boards right now? I mean, potentially, just over like what is truly meaningless stuff. But like you said, it's the only thing that we have right now, and I think that's something to take advantage of, i.e., like the Tootin like basement price right now. Like I truly believe this is rock bottom for Tootin ADP wise. Whereas Braylon Allen's shooting up because he got mixed in.
Yeah, and I mean, even the inverse is true. Like ETN, I my first draft I did on Best Ball Breakfast, I kept like double and triple checking. I got him at 112, like 12 picks past ADP, and I'm like, he just came off of the period where the drafters were stubbornly drafting him higher than that through the Bigsby news. And then they have the awesome, preseason week 1 that's like, oh, maybe he is a starter. And then he falls around. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I have no clue.
No, I thought I was going to feel good drafting right now. Just one thing, but I've been getting my BBMs in like crazy lately, and like, yeah, I don't feel good at all. No. I'm actually like extremely uncomfortable in these rooms right now.
That's it. And I've heard both takes right now. I've heard this is the best time to draft. And I've heard the same thing that I felt as well. Like my drafts that I was doing on Best Ball Bracket, like they felt like some of the worst drafts I had done. Like there were legit pockets of the draft board. I'm like, fuck, like I literally don't know what to do. And I wonder if there's like 2 things that can be true. Like I am thinking about the board in like 3 different segments right now. And I think drafting in like rounds 4 through 7 or 8 right now does not feel great because all of the fun guys are getting pushed up, right? The Goldens, the Igbukas, the Trevion Hendersons, the pockets that used to feel comfy have been like evaporated. And then you have like rounds 9 through 12, which is just a fucking dead zone of like someone has to go here, and it's a bunch of quarterbacks, tight ends, and like a sprinkling of mediocre running back and wide receivers. But where it actually feels good to draft right now is like from rounds 12 on, because there's all 100%. These guys. You want to pull up Jaden Blue. You want to pull up JCM. You want to go get whatever wide receiver, that's popping, or you want to go pull up Chig or whatever. Like that's where it's like, oh, I can be creative. I can ignore ADP. That feels fun. But like the first 12 rounds right now do not feel that fun to me.
A lot of moving parts. Go ahead, John.
No, that's why today's exercise in ADP is going to feel so good. And it's going to be like a good mental reset for people, because like we've set the market this way. We don't have to adhere to said market for the remainder of the summer just because the market's been set this way, right? Like we can go around and use our ball knowing, use our, newfound information to react prior to ADP reacting. So highlighting some of these pockets is going to be a great exercise. I had some other random like ones for you guys, like the big risers this week, like Igbuka looking nice, Golden with the Reed stuff. Just some of those kind of like macro takeaways. Are you guys falling in line with the crowd on those? Is it time to push those 2 up? Any other ones that come to mind?
I'm definitely mad at myself for not getting more Igbuka earlier, because, I let myself get tricked into the fact that Godwin got paid into like not caring that I saw his foot backwards on national television, and they just spent a high draft pick on Igbuka, who we all liked. Like I'm really mad that I didn't get more Igbuka, and now he's super expensive, and I want a part of that now that it seems like, oh yeah, Godwin probably is not going to be 100%. Like, so I would really like Igbuka and what I think is a really fun offense. And Golden, just to like take that one too before I pass it along, Golden feels like he might fall now that Jordan Love just had surgery on his offhand. So
yeah,
I hope he does.
That's a good point. Yeah, I did see that. I mean, it's just like the combo Jaden Reed and Jordan Love thing. It's like we were last year where these guys are both banged up, and it's just like, but yeah, I mean, I don't think I've seen a cleaner setup for a rookie than what is transpired for Matthew Golden. Like every single check marks minus Jordan Love's health right now, I think he's just checking it, like smashing camp, all the usages there, 2 wide receiver sets. I don't feel bad chasing Igbuka and Golden up draft boards, because I thought that round 6, while a really nice pocket for wide receivers, like your Olaves, your Debos, your Judys, your sliding, a Dunze. It's like pick your flavor. And so it's like I was clicking a ton of Jawan Jennings and Olave like early in the draft cycle because you could get Golden coming back around in the 7th or whatever. But now I'm just like, I'm fine chilling on my Jawan Jennings and Olave exposure and clicking Igbukah. Like, I don't think it'd be bad if I see someone take, either of those guys early 6. Like, I'd just be like, yeah, like I get it. Like, I mean, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I agree with you guys for sure there. That's a very interesting pocket because you also layer on like the Addison suspension in there. You add on the Caleb Johnson just, not looking amazing in his first utilization in preseason. Like there's a lot of FUD in one little pocket of the board there. Chris brings up a good point in the chat that Romeo Doubs just got hurt at practice as well today. So Golden might remain sticky. I don't know. Things not breaking great for the Packers right now.
Yeah. And the thing that I think is scary about it, right, is like we saw them last year. Like they were, I think Gretsch always uses the phrase, like, what's like the identity of the team? Like they shifted their identity. They were like, okay, we are going to be a run-focused identity team. Like this is the Josh Jacobs show. Our pass rate's going to be way below, even though Jordan Love is pretty damn good. And I feel like if they keep having all these injuries and everybody's banged up, like they're just going to say like, all right, let's do it again, like Josh Jacobs style, which by the way, I like. He's the guy too. I'm catching up on ownership early 3rd, like late 2nd, him and Chase Brown. I already had a lot of Chase Brown, but man, Jacobs, it's just like, I think he's such a smash pick right now.
Yeah. Feels so good to take him. Very safe.
Yep. Go ahead.
I was going to ask the pressing question right now was I tweeted out this morning that I got Stafford in the 18th this morning.
What draft? What contest?
BBM. And just, he was just falling like a rock kind of thing. Just thoughts on the macro of that situation, like Adams routinely falling to the 4th right now. I don't know. Is it a lot of overreaction to just one isolated day? Like, hey, if he just practices today instead of yesterday, or are we going to do this song and dance for the next 2 weeks of, he's 37-year-old with chronic back issues, told you so kind of thing?
I mean, I'm scared. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't. Like, it's in the fact that like that he's missing practice to do vibrating plates. Like, what are we doing? Like I don't think that that's good. I'm absolutely worried about it. But that said, man, like, where does that take Puka? For like, would I take Puka? Like 12, 13, man, is probably the furthest I would still let Puka fall.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm worried, but I'm not like that worried.
I think the thing about this. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say he fell to 16 to me this morning on a neighbor's team. That was also the 20th round Stafford team. So it's just weird right now, man.
I think the thing that's scary about the Stafford stuff is like right now it feels kind of polarized, right? Where it's like either this is just, mostly classic. He doesn't want to gut it out through preseason. Like, I'm a veteran. Let me just show up week 1 and we'll play, blah, blah, blah. Like, and it's just business as usual. Or like, this is like really bad and it's kind of being masked how far away he is from actually playing. And we don't see him for a long time because it isn't something you can just like gut out or whatever, that this is like, a structural thing that is just going to complete. Like if he can't even get out on the field, like normally it's like, hell, at least Najee Terrace is walking around with his, cane, out there on the field. But I mean, we like Stafford's in a cryo chamber right now.
Yeah.
I guess the thing, I think we'll routinely see Stafford start to fall to that point you did, just because no one's ever been excited about him as a fantasy asset regardless. I think the real interesting thing is how I am noticing Adams sliding in drafts, but I'm not really seeing Puka sliding, where the market, and I don't even know if this is wrong because Jimmy Garoppolo could support it, but it's just basically saying, hey, Puka can survive this. Kyron can survive this. We're getting a little worried about Adams, and now we're done with Stafford.
People just remember those comments, man. Devontae like is very vocal about not liking Jimmy Garoppolo, and I think people haven't forgot.
Yo, that's actually a really good show because I low-key forgot that. That's a good callback, Nez. I totally forgot that.
Yeah.
He was very vocal about hating him.
Yeah.
So I guess, on the Stafford front, obviously I think 18th round is completely fine. But yeah, like I don't want to take him over Sam Darnold right now. Certainly not over Geno Smith. I guess you quickly get to that line where it's like I guess it's like, are you Aaron Rodgers or Matthew Stafford right now?
That's a great question.
I just still take Stafford, I think. But to be honest, like as you alluded to, Pete, like he's not a huge fantasy performer. He's not like a dude that we target anyways. So like I was just lazy backstacking him as a third quarterback anyways. Yeah. So like I think the answer is I hope I'm done at quarterback before that, and then maybe I can just take the quote unquote upside dart swing or whatever in the last round. Yeah, Freudian slip, not necessarily Jackson dart, but like a higher upside dart swing or whatever.
I think that's a good way to think about it, where it's like, yeah, if you do have Puka or Adams, or I guess those would be really the two, and you have, two decent quarterbacks in the window. Let's say you have like a JJ McCarthy, CJ Stroud team. Like, yeah, 18th round, I'll tack on Stafford. Again, I'm playing for week 17 Stafford, giving me one of those unique skinny stacks there. So I don't mind it, but I think it's safe to want to discount a 1 to 2 pick discount on Puka, a 2 to 3 pick discount on Devontae. Like, I think that's a reasonable way to play this.
It's kind of funny that we were all kind of pounding the table for the back end of draft boards being like so nice this year, because it felt like you were getting like a round 1 and a round 1.5 pick with like the back end there. And now there's just like low key so much, I don't know, muddy water cloudiness, like after the Christian McCaffrey at 7 pick. So it's like the top 6, and now McCaffrey's kind of like fortified himself as like 7. And then it's like choose your own adventure with like Amon-Ra, Nico probably right after. And then it's like neighbors in the medical tent again, Puka dealing with this Stafford stuff. Brian Thomas, is he WR1 on his own team? ? Genty, what are we making with the 3 carry sample size? People are fudding it. Like, you know what I mean? Like there's like this little pocket of like where we used to feel all warm and fuzzy is starting to get a little more murky, right? It's very interesting.
Well, and I do like, the chat's talking about, Jimmy G isn't terrible. He can get the number 1 the ball. How about this as a thought exercise? Like, let's say a team total for the Rams is 25 with Stafford healthy. What's the team total with Jimmy G at quarterback?
23.5. Stafford's worth a point.
Yeah, I guess I would be a little on the lower side. I think I'd maybe say 21. I'm just thinking like you are probably shaving off like an extra drive, an extra touchdown expectation. Like that's the selling point too of Stafford, like their ability to matriculate the ball down the field and stuff. And it's just like, sure, like I'm not questioning Puka's target share with them. Like I think he could have a 40% target share or whatever, or Devontae could have a 25%, whatever. But it's just like, can the offense score enough points where like the ceiling is there, where the floor actually might not be that bad? It's actually the ceiling that we're completely losing access to.
Yeah, one interesting point on Wednesday's show with Hayden that he was quick to point out is if Jimmy G stayed healthy for the entirety of that Niners year in the Shanahan scheme that kind of mirrors that of like the McVay scheme here, he would have set an all-time record for, I believe it was EPA per pass attempt. Does that make sense? So it'd be like, yeah, I believe it. I don't know, guys, go back and listen so I don't like butcher it. It's like I tagged it in there, but it was like something like he was set like an NFL record for like yards per pass attempt or fantasy point expectation per pass attempt or something like that. Like it was like something alarming where it was like, oh, he wasn't just like serviceable, like he was good. And maybe you attribute that to his weapons, but maybe you could
those teams were disgusting. Those teams were just like too nasty, just absolutely too nasty. And also, who could refute that? Who's got the leaderboards up for EPA per pass attempt, ready to fact check Hayden if he's going to come through with that stat? That's hilarious.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I do think like every passing day that he's like not out there throwing, like legit not moving on the football field, because there is a difference between like just not wanting to practice and having that stuff and still being able to like go through the motions, and the other of like completely being out of mind, like in a cryogenic chamber or whatever.
Yeah, man, we're getting close.
Yeah. There you go. Or do the Rams trade for Cousins? He could be man, Cousins was just so fucking cooked last year. It's just like at first you get excited because you're like you picture the idealized version of Kirk in that offense, and you're like, oh, I can see that, and you're like, dude didn't have it last year, and I know because I watched Quarterback season 2 on Netflix.
Really?
I mean, watching Quarterback last year made me like Cousins, like make me like be a little bit more of a Cousins bull because I didn't realize how hurt he was. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was bad enough he was coming back from the Achilles and everybody questioned like getting that big money contract. But then, you know, he had the shoulder that was clearly not there for like 3 of those starts before he got replaced. I don't know. I'd low-key be a little bit bullish if Cousins went there. Similar offense to like KOC style, same tree. I'd fuck around with Kirk Cousins. I'd draft the shit out of Kirk Cousins over Aaron Rodgers.
Really? I mean, it's certainly a much better setup, right? Like at that point, you're just saying, I want to draft Sean McVay instead of Arthur Smith. This is essentially what you're saying at that point, which I think is pretty fair.
And you're never setting up a Metcalf stack.
Yeah.
Right.
Let's see here. Yeah. What are you guys doing? You know, some of the other injured guys, obviously the ones we've known for forever, the Ayuks, Mooney, Shakir, Tajay Spears is the one that broke my heart. Cause I've been starting to draft him pretty aggressively. Are you guys, dare I say, slurping up the Dipperino on these guys or just have a hands-off approach?
It's case by case. I'm hands off on the Tajay Spears stuff, which is not going to surprise anybody because I was pretty hands off before. So yeah, I've been kind of vaulting up Pollard a little bit more in that instance. Yeah, I think that's probably like the main one. The Ayuk stuff, I mean, I wasn't drafting Ayuk before. Probably not going to start now unless he's like my 6th wide receiver tack on at like 140, and he never falls to there. So yeah.
Yeah, Spears, I'm definitely like not loving the Spears stuff, and I think we're going to see a pretty strong fall. So I am kind of waiting to see where I see him go before I kind of make decisions on that. But it doesn't feel good to take, you know, an injured RB2, you know, in general. So not loving that. Ayuk, I think Ayuk is about like if Ayuk doesn't fall, then I'm just going to be happy not having much Brandon Ayuk. From the jump, we knew he was behind. Knew that immediately. And now they don't even have like 4 weeks and he'll be out there. Like we have no idea when he's going to actually return off of PUP with this injury. If the Niners are bad, I hope not. But you know, if they're not good, then they might not have any reason to bring him back early. I just can't fathom taking Brandon Ayuk right now. I don't know. Maybe you guys can change my mind on that, but
I mean,
go ahead.
I'm concerned that I don't have enough Ricky Pearsall is like my only takeaway right now. Like that's my only read on San Fran situation is like, oh, I wish I had some cheaper Pearsall in my life, I guess.
Yeah. The Pearsall thing, I was like firmly on the Jennings over Pearsall, but it's almost like we were talking about with the Golden stuff where like the path just continues to get cleaner and cleaner where you can write off some of the excuses or the reasons I didn't want to draft him of just how small sample size his success was and how, I mean, I think we pulled up the utilization report on a previous episode and we're kind of looking like he did see a bump in usage where he wasn't earning a ton of targets until those last few games at the end of the season. So like, I have a lot of concern about him, but it's almost like the Xavier Worthy thing too, without Rashee Rice to start the season, where it's just like, this guy has high draft capital, like pretty explosive player, and they might just manufacture touches for him in a way that offsets him not actually being a great target earner when it gets more crowded. So then you sell yourself on like, okay, you just have the momentum of that. And even when other players come back that you don't want to reshift the offense or they built up the confidence or whatever it may be that they are just now that guy.
Yeah. I mean, they traded up for him. Obviously the absence of Debo opens up that kind of like gadgety stuff. And he could just be like exactly what we want Jaden Reed to be.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think that's a good call. One other note I had today when I was drafting, this is eliminator focused and it's not like this is some incredibly novel idea, but one guy I found myself being willing to chase up and even draft aggressively. I'm like, Tyrone Tracy is such a fucking good eliminator pick right now because you get to barbell both elements of it. Like he's going to be the bell cow back for the start of the season. So you get that fast start that you want, but then you also get the week 14 bye as well. So you can almost have your cake and eat it too, as far as like the things you're trying to get out of the eliminator. And I was like, especially as someone who is way more on Scatabo, I'm like, I'm catching up, and I don't mind paying a premium for Tracy specifically in eliminator.
Yeah, I'll say it so Nez doesn't have to, but Nez was all over that one like 2 weeks ago and was pounding the table for that in the eliminator.
Nice.
Yeah. It's just so interesting to kind of like separate your ADP brain when you enter.
Oh, did he freeze for you too, John?
Yeah. I was like, oh shit, is it me? No.
It looks like he's throwing the ball too, right here.
Yeah, it looks like a Jackson Dart right there.
Yes. While he's getting pulled up here, so Tate says the week 14 bye stuff in the eliminator, of course, makes you likelier to win something, but doesn't it totally tank your chances of winning the whole thing? Sure, if you took all week 14 buys, absolutely. The other thing is like, I literally don't think anyone would be upset about taking home $10,000 and then getting bounced at week 14. But in actuality, say you're pretty heavy on it and you have 6 or 7 players, like a 30-year lineup. You're even in that instance, you're still playing essentially a flip versus another team who's also likely to have a few other week 14 matchups as well. And that's the beauty of the variance working in both directions, is then you could actually have a lesser squad and still win by catching another team on a bad day. So outside of taking 10 plus week 14 guys, and I will say this, like, I'm not like, that's not my strategy to get all the week 14 guys I can get, but I do, dare I say, break ties in favor of the week 14 guys when I can.
Yeah, no, well said, Pete. There's also just like some fun, let's call it, offenses, maybe not like our favorite targets in the world, but at least cheaper targets. So like when you are breaking tiebreakers, it's not like it's at the front end of draft boards. It's like we're talking pick like 125 versus 113 or something like that, right? Like you're making these like macro decisions when it comes to like Carolina, when it comes to I believe it's Carolina, New England, and the Niners and the Giants. Yeah. And it's
go ahead.
No, just outside of the Niners, it's like most of those ADPs are like quite suppressed right now. So vaulting like 5 spots over like a Luther Burden who probably plays worse in that format is entirely fine.
For sure. And like the ways I'm using, so obviously, Trevion Henderson is actually going, at least in some of my eliminator slow drafts I'm in right now, he's like going in the same place, if not slightly later than where he goes in BBM. And you get that week 14 bye, and you get a format that rewards running back production more than BBM, and you get the week 14 bye at like a distance. So that's like an example of like, oh, I'm hammering Henderson at the 4 or 5 turn right now because of that element there as well.
Yeah, that's good. GoatNap also brings up a really good point there too. Is it works on 2 levels because you're fading that week 8 apocalypse.
That's true. That is true. It's not only getting the guys who have late buys, but avoiding it as well. And I will say too, just like now that I'm, I've done like 40 drafts, eliminator drafts, kind of building off of like what the research I did with Chris for that video. And then I've been using the Sidekick for a lot of my eliminator drafts to see. And like, there are, a few of the trends that have definitely emerged. Obviously very running back heavy, extremely running back heavy, to the point where you're like, seriously, my 5th running back before my 2nd wide receiver. But I do think it speaks to how valuable that projectable volume is at the beginning of the season. It's very bye week focused. You will notice like bye week overlap stuff gets punished like pretty hard, especially early. Very stacking agnostic. You're not getting pulled into stacks. Like a lot of times you kind of conventionally want to go that way. And again, I'm not saying these are the end all be all. I just thought it was interesting to kind of like compare the research and some of the intuitive stuff with what the Sims are saying. And there has been like a pretty good amount of overlap. Really, the only thing that's been different is just like how running back heavy the Sims are with that.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see if we can get Nez back here in a second. How many more BBMs do you have left?
I think I have 74. I just last night I have 78 left. I have a couple slow drafts going, and I think I've done 60 something fasts already.
Nice.
Little bit behind. Gonna have to start full court pressing a little bit. 71 completed.
I'm at 109, so I feel good. I think I'm gonna have to add in one stream at some point to bang out like 7 or 8 to stay on pace for where I'm at. But yeah, actually, you know what we should just do? We haven't done a BBM on Off and On the Clock in a while. We should do one of my streamed BBMs for this. I don't mind doing the reach bit for a BBM to knock one out here.
All right, let's do it. Yeah, because originally I was going to say, I put Puppy on there just because I was like, oh, maybe we don't want to go like too crazy with the reaching. But we also think this is a viable, good exercise. So backing it up in a BBM makes sense as well.
For sure. Yeah, and because I actually think the inverse too, like even as being like a big value hound, like most of the values in drafts right now, I think you could categorize more as falling knives than like true values. And maybe that dynamic changes at some point. Like hopefully we are going to continue to get some more casuals in there, guys going out and getting your guys. But you just have this weird mix right now where, again, it only takes one guy to want to go and draft a player they like. It takes the entire room essentially passing on someone to create a 1 round plus value. And it's just like drafters are too sharp right now. Like the information, there's almost no information edge in general, with having a couple people in the room that know what they're doing.
Yeah, everyone's so tapped in now. And I mean, it's a credit to the space growing so significantly, right? The resources, think about back to like BBM 2, for instance, even like, think about the resources that are available now. Like you can tap into YouTube at any point in time, and whether you agree with a player or not, you can watch them do exactly and talk exactly through what they're doing on a stream. Like,
yeah. All right, let's get going in here. I assume Nez is gonna come back. We got 2 more spots here if you guys want to join us in a BBM.
Nez just texted me and he said they lost power. So
oh geez.
Yeah.
All right. We will let me switch this here and we'll get Nez back hopefully in a second here. We got the 112, which I am not gonna complain about, although this actually, John, I feel like 112 is a good spot for this challenge because you're generally having to reach for one pick anyways. It's when you're in the middle of the draft board where you're like, hey, there's a nice value here. So the first part of that shouldn't be too bad.
Yeah, the thing I was really hoping for like 8 or something like that, so you can pull up a 112 target that we like, and then pull up a like past the Brock Bowers tier into the middle for a unique combo. That's what I was hoping for.
Ooh.
Yeah, 112 is more of like a flip the board mantra here. Like we could fuck around, find out with like Bucky Irving, Chase Brown at the corner or something, and like do something that nobody does on that side of the board kind of thing. But
even
play it by ear.
I don't even think you have to go like, I kind of operate on the thesis. There's, first round is like 16, 17 players deep. And the guys like AJ Brown, Ladd,
true.
Like those guys are just never at the 1-2 turn. Like the AJ Brown with Amon-Ra or Brian Thomas is probably basically any of those like guys that are at the tail end of that. Like that feels like the sweet spot to pull up where you're actually not sacrificing a ton of projection.
Yeah, good shouts there. I really found over the last week or so that I really like the front end running back spots, like round 2 and 3 right now. And then like, because everybody else is getting pushed up, like Walker and Travion and RJ Harvey, et cetera, are getting pushed up in that middle area. I've been kind of like the fish who's eating like the not as well projectable wide receivers in that tier. And then I've just been slamming, late target RBs over their ADPs to fill out my rosters. I don't know if that's the best way to react right now, but that's how I've been treating it. Yeah.
I don't mind that. All right. We are picking out 112 here, almost on the clock. Hopefully we can get Nez back in here. Let's see.
Luka still goes. Damn, HN goes.
HN goes. So we're on the clock. Yeah, this is where, like, I would say, like, Amon-Ra and BTJ with, like, I've been trying to get a little more AJ Brown. You down to pull up AJ Brown here?
Yeah. We gotta pull guys up. So let's go AJ Brown.
All right. Did I get that in time? Phew.
Yeah.
And then who else do you want to reach for?
Either Henry or Taylor, I think.
Yeah.
Whichever you prefer.
Let's do Henry. I still think Henry, AJ Brown will be very unique since those guys have almost exclusively both lived in the second round.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. We reach 5 picks for AJB, 1 pick for Derrick Henry there, and a definitive grown-ass man start there for us.
Yeah, that is the epitome of a grown-ass man start. This is interesting, like as an exercise, like how far we quantify a reach. And I think how far you quantify a reach is relative to draft capital, because like a draft capital reach on AJ Brown right there is basically the equivalent of like 2 rounds in like 10. So if we like consistently thought about it through the lens of draft capital, like our reaches at the front end of the draft board don't have to be like as insane as I initially said, where you could do like Jonathan Taylor and Bucky Irving there or something like that, right? Yeah.
Yes. I like a Trios says, I did ban and ship on the prompt getting a 112. Just too many projectable round 1 players. You don't know us, brother. We I don't know if you've seen some of the prompts I've done on the Deposit Kingdom. The new video I just posted, I drafted pick by pick the BBM winners. And they had elite tight ends in round 5. I have some Sam Laporta round 5 shares from that video. So buddy, once I commit to a prompt, we're fucking committing to the prompt. So don't worry about it. Your boy is always willing to leak a little EV for entertainment's sake. But actually what I said in that video, and I still maintain this, that there is a benefit to these kind of things. Whenever I do those kind of experiments or challenges, it like opens my brain up to new ways of thinking. Like one thing I did in that video, and it ended up didn't work. I tried to set up the Xavier Worthy and Rashee Rice double stack with Mahomes. And I actually think it's going to get easier to do that as Rashee Rice continues to fall. And you might be able to do 4th round Worthy and 5th round Rice. But it was something like, I don't have a single one of those. Partly because I'm light on Rice and partly of where their ADPs line up, etc. But I was like, I did that for that challenge. And I was like, fuck, like this is something I want to do. And I do think learning, you learn different things. And I equate it to like doing a drill, right? It's like the drills you do for basketball in practice. They're not the exact same things you're going to do in a game, but it like gives you the creativity or the muscle memory to execute them. And I do feel like I've been a better drafter from doing all these like different types of challenges.
100%, man. I couldn't agree more. The another one in that same vein is just doing like the full Eagle stack. Like everyone, we thought it was a GM 2 years ago, right? And you know, all that changed last year was they were the most dominant team ever, and the pass rate plummeted to 0 because they were so dominant. And then they win the Super Bowl. And now this year it's like, well, what if they have to pass more? Like, why can't we just go AJ Brown, Hurts, and Devonta Smith on this team and just start that way? And nobody does it. And it would make so much sense when we're, 3 weeks into the season. And all of a sudden, the Eagles are 1-1 and they're playing a team where a high pass rate is expected, right?
Yeah. Yep. All right. So we are about to pick here at 36 and 37. So we are not slurping any Dipperinos on Harrison Evans. We're not taking Breece Hall. We're not taking George Kittle. Technically, Daniels is in play. So anything after Daniels, we could do a Daniels McLaurin, but that's been done. But to your point, if you want to rip it in on the Eagles, I'm down.
Let's do it. I mean, the only other one I would say is like if you wanted to do like Worthy or something, because it's still technically a reach. But yeah, I honestly rip it in on the Eagles and just see what happens. This will be a really fun exercise.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, because you think how their ADPs line up right now. AJ Brown goes, let's see here. AJ Brown goes middle of the second. Hurts, you can get middle of the fourth. And then Devontae at 51. Occasionally Devontae would fall. I'm sure there are some teams out there that have round 2 Hurts, or sorry, round 2 AJB, round 4 Hurts, and round 5 Devontae, but probably few and far between. That's a pretty tough combo to get Devontae to fall to, pick 54 or 55.
Yeah, and it's getting even harder with the ETR rank on Devonta. Like they've really pushed him up in recent memory over that like weird ass tier. Like this kind of like ambiguous tier, let's call it, in the 4th round. They've thrust him over everybody except for Worthy and Terry there, I think. So, people are going to be wise to it in the 4th, and he's going to be falling to the 5th considerably less.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Hurts, Worthy could have been the other play there for us. I do like him a lot at that spot. But we start AJ Brown, Derrick Henry, Jalen Hurts, Devontae Smith. So we get that premium Eagles double stack and kind of clearly tell the story of, hey, maybe their defense is worse. Maybe they have to throw a little bit more. They actually get pushed in some games where they just don't run away with it. That's not
right.
Too crazy of a narrative.
They're gonna get pushed too. Like Chip's alluding to it in the chat that he's like, the Eagles' schedule is brutal. Well, the schedule for the defending champion is always brutal to start, right? Or it's always just brutal in general, the way they do it year over year. But they get Dallas, that could be really fun in week 1. Then you got at Arrowhead, which is tough for anyone. Then you have a Rams potential shootout. Then you have Tampa Bay potential shootout. Denver Giants, Minnesota Giants, all prior to the bye. Like those are some potentially really fun games when we're forecasting, if their defense is a little bit weaker and if they're a little less reliant on the run.
Yep. And like the other nice thing about doing this, right, is they like, even when they are still tilting run, they're one of the most condensed offenses in football. I mean, like you go to the app after obviously Shipley gets drafted, but outside of that, you're AJ Dillon, Jahan Dotson, Johnny Wilson, Grant Calcaterra. I mean, this is one of the most top-heavy offenses in the league.
I did a little exercise on the Solver series this week in the pre-record, Pete, where I looked back at like old draft boards just to like juxtapose to this year, so people would be like mindful of how many misses there are scattered amongst these, like even like what we would consider $5 picks, not just $1 picks. And like Jahan Dotson was like an 11th round pick. Like he was just living in the 11th and 12th round. And it's just oh yeah. Well, maybe we just don't know shit sometimes.
Yeah. And, Jahan Dotson, was it his sophomore year? I think it was his sophomore year that we were drafting him like in that round 7, round 8, like second year breakout type thing. Cause he had flashed like a little bit at the end of his rookie year. That
whole Hardman thesis.
Out. Yeah. Okay. Speaking of someone's joining us on this reaching prompt here, Ricky Pearsall at pick 55. They heard us say that we wanted him and they said, they might take him at the 5-6 turn. There's our Trevion Henderson watch. He goes at the 4-5 turn.
That's
trying to see. Let's see
becoming a little bit more of the alpha right now is, people pulling up. Maybe Ken Walker ends up falling, but, I did a couple of those Ken Walker plus Trevions at the left side of the board.
All right. It's anything after pick 61. So from Rome, Olave.
Let's slap it up, dude. Igbuka and Golden.
I like it. All right.
Let's just slap it up, man.
Just slap. Yep. Just checking here. I mean, the week 9 bye is not ideal to have all of these week 9s, but it is what it is.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We're good.
No, I was down. I mean, we made that point at the top of the show. I think that we need the foreshadow there. I said, if someone takes these 2 guys at the 5-6 turn, I wouldn't say it was crazy. Guess what?
Exactly.
We were the non-crazy ones.
Like, I don't know, man. Like, we're so rigid within the confines of ADP, and suffice it for me to say this, like, everyone knows that I'll say this, right? But like, this is not a bad start. I don't think we sacrificed any EV. Like, this is intelligently built. Even if you like put it into, a draft calculator or something like that, and you tried to run the EV and the sims associated with this, like it's worth $22 instead of 22.5 or something, like, and you're giving yourself a completely different out that nobody else in the contest has. It's beautiful. Like, and we should be doing more of this.
Yep. The literally the only thing is those, like we said, right, that the AJ Brown second round hurts fourth, to where you basically have to win like the 2v2 on the like extra Derrick Henry piece there, which isn't crazy. But yeah, I completely agree with you. I think this tier, especially like this is the tier break for me. Waddle, Hunter, Metcalf, Ridley, like after that, then you're in the Rome, Diggs, Debo, Juwan. And by ADP, Golden and Igbuka are at the end of that tier. But I think in practice that they are just firmly in that mix
Yes.
of being there. So yeah, I completely agree with you. So we start AJ Brown, we grab Derrick Henry, we commit to the Eagle stack with Hurts and Devontae Smith, and then we double tap the buzzy rookies, Matthew Golden and Emeka Egbuka. I saw someone say in the chat, I want to get in the room with the people who are reaching here. The flip side of this means though we get to draft every single fun player early. So yes, we're going to be reaching, but the value we're giving you are not going to be any of the sexy players because they're going to end up on our teams.
Yeah.
I did see this as well. Yeah. Hayden saying he moved Golden up to 53 overall in his ranks, which is obviously like a mid to early 5th round player, which again, doesn't strike me as crazy. The only thing about that scares me is like, if this Love stuff, if he's not, I don't want to necessarily scream him up too much if Love's not good.
Yeah. I mean, like the two bull cases you could say associated with that is the fact that it's his non-throwing hand, and that it could have been scheduled all along and they just haven't told us that, like it could have been like, okay, we're going to get you those early camp reps. We're going to get to a place where we feel good. Then we're going to schedule that left thumb, like clean up, whatever it is, in this isolated window because it's better. And then we're back and we're ready to go again. Like, is it optimal? No, of course not. But it could also be like gal-brained into being like, yeah, this was forecasted, right?
Yep. So we're about to pick at the 7-8 turn, which will be picks 84 and 85. So if we scroll past that, we're starting out at the Jordan Mason, TJ Hawkinson, Higgins. We could do Baker with Igbuka, would certainly be in play. Jalen Warren's a nice click. We talked about Tracy. I've been drafting a good amount of Mark Andrews as well. So we can see what we want to do here.
Okay. Yeah, I might fade the Baker stuff when we make like such a concentrated bet on Hurts, and we just go ahead and scroll to some potential running backs here. At least one, I think. Like just making the bet that like ETN is RB1 or
What about Tracy? I've been trying to get a little more.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I'm a scatter boy, but I trust your instincts here.
Yeah. Especially on a team where we're going to be a little lighter. I'm not opposed at double tapping running back here as well. I don't think I would basically be Hawk would be another. I guess that's a little cheating here for the reach around. Who would you like?
Higgins or running back?
ETN or Higgins?
ETN.
Shit, sorry. Didn't get it in time. We did get Higgins there though. So we're going full slap. We're taking Jaden Higgins here, 4 picks ahead of ADP. Tracy, a full round ahead of ADP there. But I do think if we're going to be just 2 running backs through this range, getting a guy who we think is going to score well at the beginning of the season makes sense.
Yeah, early week production would be pretty clutch for this roster when you just piss like crazy like that.
Yep.
Because like realistically, the majority of this roster when we are doing this exercise is going to be reached for like 0 RB contingent upside targets.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause now that we're to 5 wide receivers through 85, there's not going to be too many wide receiver selections we have to make. We have a lot of good stacking outs now. Love, Stroud. And then, yeah, we're going to be hammering a lot of running backs. And then obviously we're kind of staring down the barrel of a 3 tight end build.
Yeah.
Well,
I think Goddard would be overkill too. Like when I'm thinking about the 3 tight end build.
You think it'd be overkill?
Yeah, I think so.
Part of me like disagrees, except when you layer on the fact that we also would have to reach for Dallas Goedert. So ADP of 139, we pick at 1819. Yeah, like Goddard at 133, I would be fine with.
Okay. I'm mentally reserving a spot on this team for Shipley too, though.
I know. I don't think it's bad.
Yeah.
I struggle with it. Obviously, we spent pretty premium capital on those top guys, but it's just also so much of the Goddard price tag is really reasonable. It's not like the Goddard tag from last year.
Right.
133 is almost nothing. And if this offense, like if our thesis hits, like Goddard's going to be sprinkling in a few of those games to be their leading pass catcher.
That's a good point. Yeah, it's more of the macro bet than a 17 bet in that instance.
Right. Right. And again, like when I did my video, and I think I have that pinned in the chat, if you guys check that out when you get a second, testing all 5 previous BBM winning strategies, that's over on the Deposit Kingdom channel. But seeing how many dead lineups or how many dead spots there were in some of those winning lineups is it's crazy. Like I can pull up.
I did an exercise yesterday with the baseball stuff because we have live ownership tracking through the postseason here, and it's alarming that even like the pick to click guy you needed MVP candidate from round 12 in Cal Raleigh is only like 20% owned, and it'll even get smaller by the finals. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's alarming how thin, even when you're right, that like just hitting on a couple isolated variables will just carry you so far, right? For sure. Yeah, and this LGR team here last year, Chase, Taylor, Devontae Smith, Higgins, Pacheco, there in the 5th round. Obviously, Kittle, Brian Thomas, Burrow, Connor, Purdy, Chase Brown, Pearsall. I mean, Pearsall wasn't a smash until the last week. Ty Chandler bust, Jermaine Burton bust. Adam Thielen was okay. Noah Fant bust, Jawan Johnson like mostly bust, Demarcus Robinson had like one good week, like right. Pretty much whiffed like the last 5 picks in addition to the Pacheco, but his stuff up top just like smashed. All right, man, we cannot scoop we
Baker.
Can't slurp
pick 108. We got to look after 19 here. Should I put like Tucker Kraft or Njoku in the queue?
Yeah, I guess Kraft.
Just because we do have Golden. I mean, we could.
Where's Love?
Love, yeah.
He might be a faller, but that doesn't matter to us.
Do you want to grab Love?
Unless you want to do Ramondre. Is he a big enough scroll?
Let's see. Ramondre is a scroll. Let's just do the Love thing because it's like, I don't know, man. These running backs all are disgusting, even though we probably needed another one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like what's that?
Well, it's just very interesting because like, even when you love it, let it go, you can't capitalize on it in this exercise. So,
and this is how it's always happened. You could go try to hop in a draft and take Emeka Egbuka in the 6th round. And like, you're never going to get Baker Mayfield to fall to you in the 10th ever again. It's just the one draft we said we can't take him is the time he does.
Yeah. Crutches did trust the process though, where he said he would 100% take it Baker first, but he knew we couldn't.
That's funny.
This is not bad, man. Like, this team is good, and they're in a combination that most people aren't going to do it in.
One thing I like too is I actually like a lot of the running backs at like 140 to 150 right now. So picking at 132, 133 when we need running backs, I think that'll line up pretty well for us.
Perfect.
Where again, you're kind of playing like, I think the 2v2 on like Ramondre versus some of the rookies we'll be able to get here. Like I am on board with it.
Well, here's an interesting preseason takeaway one. Was Ramondre's preseason game 1 bullish or bearish?
When I looked at the usage, it was like almost exactly what I would have expected as far as him leading rush attempts, Trevion Henderson mixing in, but tilting toward the pass catching work. I was like, that's about the split I expect at the start of the season. But I don't expect that to hold. Like, I think to be more bullish on Ramondre, I would have wanted to see it more like, 80%. It's like he's dominating and he's got like a little bit more long of a runway. Like if you're opening up in that big of a split and you have this guy who's fucking so electric every time he touches the ball, that's really bad news for Ramondre.
Yeah, I mean, like the thing you wouldn't want to see is him house his first ever touch for 100 yards. Like that's, if you're Ramondre Bull, that's not what we're looking for in that instance. But I did think, like, from a usage standpoint and being kind of like the lead back there, I didn't think it was as bearish as people said. And the film bros said it looked half decent because he went 7 for 36 or whatever, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think he still serves a purpose on teams, but it's like, whereas I think, the Tyrone Tracy stuff, like I do think he could hold on to that thing if Scatabo has setbacks and, that the draft capital and kind of the setup feels more like a 50-50 battle where it feels like Ramondre is going to be holding on for dear life very soon.
Yeah, entirely fair point there. Yeah, like Henderson gets 1 carry, goes for 18 yards. He gets 3 catches, goes for 12. Like, he has the house call off the kickoff return. Ramondre doesn't catch a pass. Like, it's just like, oh yeah, this is exactly how we envisioned it.
Yeah. So I love these rookie. Yeah, this part of the board is exactly kind of what I was hoping for. So let's talk it out. I put Goddard, Tootin, Jaden Blue, and Dylan Sampson in the queue. All of them will be reaches by ADP. If you don't want to do the Goddard thing and there's 2 running backs here, I'm good with it. But I would say 2 of these 3 would be dope.
Yep, I agree with you there. I would lean the 2 running backs, and then we can just backfill tight end with like 2 more, especially after we did the Tucker Kraft thing. I also think it's a good season-long bet, but I also think it's a pretty thin, week 17 needle to thread there. So, I would just shoot the moon on Tootin and Blue, and these are kind of like the poor man's versions of the Trevion Henderson conversation we just had.
Yes. Let's do it. I love that. Yeah, this is the thing that's fun about reaching. You get Golden and Igbuka, which is hard to get both those on the same team right now. And you get Tootin and Jaden Blue. So we got Jalen Hurts and Jordan Love, Derrick Henry, Tyrone Tracy, Bashal Tootin, and Jaden Blue, AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, Matthew Golden, Emeka Igbuka, Jaden Higgins, and then tight end Tucker Kraft.
This is a fun team. I mean, it's fun. It's fun because it's like intelligently constructed relative to the draft capital spent, even though we're not slurping up any quote unquote existing value. But it's also fun because like the archetype of player that we're clicking over and over again are like all the guys that everyone wants to click, right? Like nobody wants to click Golden 10 spots ahead of ADP. Everybody wants Golden to fall to them. Everybody wants Ibuka to fall to them. And they're trying to like, pull the wool over the eyes of a room full of, recreational drafters who aren't paying attention. And those rooms just don't really exist anymore. So let's just go ahead and just jam all the plays that everybody else thinks is good right now.
Well, this is what my teams, like when I drafted with Sean Siegel on Best Ball Breakfast, always look like, because he, is completely ADP agnostic. And a lot of times he wants to get multiple players who go in the same ADP range. And so it's like, you got to start taking them at some point. And so you end up with these teams that certainly hemorrhage ADP value. But I think the thing that he does so well is like, you just continue to stack upside bet, stack it. And like, yeah, you're going to whiff a lot, but if you have the mindset of league winners only, you can create just some fucking monster teams. I think you also burn a lot of teams and probably lower your advance rates drafting like that aggressively. And if you don't have as good of a filter for what league winning profiles are like, it's easy to mess it up, I think. But nobody, I think, is better at just like stacking up those asymmetric bets in almost disregarding ADP in the process.
Absolutely.
Let's see here. If you're just tuning in, John refused to say Dipperino there. I thought you said refused to slurp the Dipperino. I was like, we literally cannot slurp any Dipperinos right now. So we have now a pretty balanced build. We got the 2-4-5-1 looking good at quarterback. Henry, Tracy, Tootin, Blue. Tootin Blue pair well with the Henry Tracy touches we're getting. Let's see here. So we're going to pick at 156 and 157. No Romeo Dobbs for us on this team. We're looking in the post Hunter Henry kind of range here as far as picks. So this is where we can really throw the ADP out if there's some guys we want here.
Yeah. Do you have any like structurally speaking, I think one tight end and one running back would be my move here. Do you feel similarly?
Yes. That is exactly where I was leaning. And this is honestly one of the spots where reaching just like does not hurt you. Well, these are the guys on the board. Trey Harris, dead. Quidjon Judkins doesn't have a team. Rachaad White, injured. Tua, we don't need a quarterback. Najee Harris has one eye. Brenton Strange and Cameron Ward were done at quarterback. So it's like, I'm okay not having to take any ADP values here. I would say like Hunter Henry, Austin Eckler look kind of good to me here.
Okay. You like Eckler more. I mean, Eckler's usable weeks. That slaps for us.
Who do you like? You like Ford?
I'm good with either, but like I was leaving the light on for JCM on the team, so taking, I think Henry first.
Let's do Henry.
Seems like, good solid tight end 2 for us. Doesn't correlate, but who cares?
I just didn't know if we need a little more early season production with Eckler. The other thing is I believe, he probably won't make it back to us, but it would be after. Would you want to go JCM here?
No, I think we need production. So one of the first two.
All right, let's do Eckler. Jerome Ford has that week 9 bye, and then it's just like this entire Eagles block has the week 9. So we can, if the whole point is him kind of like helping us at the beginning and stuff there. So we had Eckler, and now we have rainbow buys here in the running back room. I think that turn was pretty good for us, Eckler and Henry.
Yeah, like 2 serviceable bets or 2 serviceable vets with usable weeks to like kind of back weight the ceiling shot guys that we took the last 2 picks.
Yeah. Eggers wants to know, why hasn't Nez joined on his phone? We're wondering that. Maybe Nez just went into primal dad mode and he's like, what if we're going off the grid now for the rest of our lives? And he's like running to a Costco to do his final shopping for this Y2K event in Texas. Who knows?
Generator in one hand and he's sprinting down with a gas can in the other.
Exactly. All right, so we're now up to 2-5-5-2. Jalen Hurts, Jordan Love, Derrick Henry, Tyron Tracy, Bayshel Tootin, Jaden Blue, and Austin Eckler, AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, Matthew Golden, Emeka Egbuka, Jaden Higgins, Tucker Kraft, and Hunter Henry. We're going to need some chaperones at wide receiver. That's something we're going to have to do.
How so?
I think with Golden, Egbuka, and Higgins, there's, early season production could certainly be a bit of an issue. And then also it's like, AJ Brown and Devontae Smith, their individual weekly ceiling games are probably negatively correlated in a way where even though the draft capital spent on the position is still solid, I think we need to buy some early targets.
Good shout. Okay. Yeah, I was kind of like thinking the inverse, but now you've sold me that pen. I was thinking like just keep pounding like ceiling shot piss and like take Tesla, take whoever, like, but I'm in lockstep with you.
So we have 4 more picks left. We're done at quarterback. We could be done at running back. I think we should get a third tight end.
Yes.
So we could be 2-5, 8-3, or we could be like 2-6, 7-3.
I think it's 2-5, 8-3. I think the luxury pick is either one more running back or one more tight end. But I think we need 2 wide receivers. That makes sense.
This would definitely be it's a bummer too, because if we want to get Shipley, then that's our luxury pick, which I do think would be a nice.
Then let's go to battle with 2 tight ends here. We get one correlated one. We get Hunter Henry. It's thin, but like we got to make some concession.
I would say like we either take Chig as our tight end 3 or Shipley as the luxury picks. Still no power. Oh no.
Grid.
Yeah, and then Shipley goes, so that'll make it easy. And Chig goes, so there we go. So I think we can swing back to tight end here. Would you want to get your boy Isaiah Likely, our week 17 bring back as in a third? Oh no, we can't. Sorry, he's not past our line.
I like Slayton here.
Okay, yeah, I definitely want to get. Let me get him in the queue. Slate, I do a lot of De'Ami Brown here, but we don't.
We got to go a bit further.
Hopkins is the bring back week 17. Could be good. Okay.
Yeah, professional ass wide receiver. I mean, who says no to DeAndre Hopkins scoring 8 touchdowns this year?
Yeah, unless there's and then all these other tight ends, I feel like we're going to be able to we can reach for another guy in the last round. So yeah, let's we grab Slayton and Hopkins.
That's exactly what we needed. We needed 2 professional ass wide receivers with jobs, with a little bit of spike, but also, just as long as they're healthy, they're going to have some job security. And that's a good counterbalance to the Higgins, Golden, Ibuka.
Yep. It's also, we've gotten some nice correlation. Week 17, we have now Hopkins coming back for Love. Week 16, we have Washington with Eckler and Hurts. We don't have a Buffalo week 17, but that's okay. And then we have Dallas with Eckler there. A Buffalo piece would be nice, but I don't see it on the board for us.
Dawson Hawks, buddy. You ready?
I know this is all about reaching, but I got to draw the line somewhere.
Fort Knox? I don't know, man. I had this conversation with Hayden the other day. Like, I'm slowly drinking the bringbacks Kool-Aid, ain't it? I know we deal with like larger roster spots than the daily stuff here, and I know it's had success in the past. I like it from like a theoretical and screenshotting your roster, but I'm slowly becoming the you got to get there guy. And if I roll up with this roster in week 17, like I just want my favorite 18th round pick. I don't want to force something, right?
Yeah. I mean, I still think we see I can't get out of my head that Bengals Denver game last year. I mean, the amount of Burrow doubles with Mims bringbacks and like the thesis hit in the exact way you want the thesis to hit. Mims speeds up the game with a deep touchdown, which adds possessions for them. So, but yeah, I mean, I think we don't have to rehash all the old conversations. You're not reaching for it. You're not drafting players who are objectively worse than other players specifically for it. DeAndre Hopkins fit 2 very nice objectives. We needed some early season production, and then it just so happens he plays opposite our week 17 stack.
True.
There. Troy Franklin is a guy I definitely want to start clicking more. He goes to Champ in the 17th round there. Let's see what we want to do. So we're looking after 204 and 205. So we're definitely getting
Sean
down
Tucker's kind of fun if we want to go the running back route.
So the tight ends after 204, we're looking at like Waller, Jawan, Theo, Freiermuth. I kind of say fuck it and just roll Kraft and Henry at this choice.
Let's get it. I love it. Yeah, just go 1 and 1 and do 2-6-8-2.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, quarterback, there is your Stafford, but we don't have anything there. I guess Dart you could do if you really wanted.
No, I'm good with the quarterback room. I like Sean Tucker. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's be the Sean Tucker guys.
I'll put Tucker in, and then let's see, Green Bay, Philly.
Yeah, I mean, you could, if you want to go Buffalo, I don't know, like Curtis Samuel and like that sort of stuff. Io Manor's kind of fun. I took Josh Reynolds on stream the other day. I hated it.
I've been taking Josh Reynolds in the eliminator a good bit.
All right, let's do it. We needed serviceable, usable weeks. He's kind of locked in. Wide receiver 2 there.
Jimmy's saying Trey Tucker here too, opposite our Giants.
Sure, I'm good with either of those. Hayden threw out Trey Tucker as one of his favorite scroll the F down gal brain guys late. ETR really likes Noah Brown there. Josh Reynolds makes sense.
The thing that's nice about Reynolds versus Trey Tucker, if like you're taking these guys, is like Trey Tucker, he has, Besh and Tyquan Thornton that are going to be kind of like bearing down on him, right? Where it's like, we know Jacoby and Brock are going to be the focal points. And then you have these 2 rookies, one that was drafted highly, one who's having an awesome camp. Like it seems harder for him, where like Reynolds legit just has zero competition, like just absolutely none. So I like his chances to like hold on to things better. I guess the counter would be, you feel better about Geno as getting the ball to Tucker than you do Fields to Reynolds, but I don't know. The Reynolds stuff feels like a pretty comfy click.
Yeah, I'm good with it. I'm glad someone else is on board with it, because when I did it, it felt disgusting. And I was kind of like, I don't know about this, but now I'm glad we talked through it.
Yeah. Sorry, Jeremy. We could have had the triple Tucker, Sean Tucker,
Ooh.
Tucker Kraft, and Trey Tucker. Someone,
in honor of Mr. Good Boy, Mr. Tucker.
Is that your dog's name? Is Tucker?
Yeah.
Wow. All right. If you guys recreate the triple Tucker lineup, send it to us on Twitter. All right, John.
Definitive Mr. Good Boy.
Here's our experiment. Let us know in the chat. How did we hemorrhage value drafting this team with the rule of reaching for every single pick? You tell us. Here's the team: Jalen Hurts and Jordan Love at quarterback, Derrick Henry, Tyrone Tracy, Bashal Tootin, Jaden Blue, Austin Eckler, and Sean Tucker, AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, Matthew Golden, Emeka Egbuka, Jaden Higgins, Darius Slayton, DeAndre Hopkins, and Josh Reynolds, Tucker Kraft, and Hunter Henry. 2682. We said, fuck your triple onesies. We're going 2-2. What do you think?
It fucks, man. I like this team a lot. I like it as an exercise. I think it'd be an interesting exercise to go back to the board here and see what we sacrificed to obtain this, because I don't think it's much. Because if we look at the board view here, you're effectively saying that like Derrick Henry outscores any of those wide receivers and Genty around him. Yeah, totally conceivable. AJ Brown, same thesis. People have been saying all year long, why couldn't he be around one guy? Hurts, you're just making the bet that, hey, he's better than Jaden Daniels this year, and it's a correlated bet. Devonta Smith versus like, I don't know. I guess Evans, Worthy. Maybe you'd prefer those two there, but you're not sacrificing a whole bunch. It's the same tier-ish, I guess. Golden and Ibuka, like steam jobs. I guess the Tracy one, if we had been able to buy the dip on like another running back and like it be less of a ceiling shot one, would feel a little bit, better. But man, I'm just looking at this right now and I'm like, maybe Baker, but he probably wouldn't have come to us because Crutches would have just taken him in front.
Yep.
I don't know, man. This feels good. I want to replicate this in some different fashion now.
I love the rookie double tap, the Golden Igbuka, the Tootin Jaden Blue, just pure slap central, and it feels so good. I mean, I agree with you. This range of picks, Tracy, Higgins, and Love were the three that didn't feel the best. But then you look at the options going after. It's like Tracy, okay, then Warren, Mixon, Dobbin, like Tracy's fine there. Higgins goes, and then you have Mooney who's injured, Shakir who's injured, Godwin who's injured, and then you're to Bateman and Pittman. It's like, I don't know, man. Jordan Love at 109. We're going to need a QB2. The QBs that go after, we're going to not include Baker since Crutches said he would have taken him. May, Dak, Goff, none of these even stacked up with our picks. And if we tried to wait for Stroud to come back along for Higgins, he goes. So it's like, that was actually an instance where reaching there to lock up the stack actually helped you out. And then in this range, I mean, if the guys that we were wanting to reach out got sniped, like I wanted Shipley or Chig, and they both went ahead of us. So yeah, this was I like the 112 for it. I actually think that's the spot where the reaching doesn't hurt you too much.
Yeah, I think this turned out quite well as an exercise. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I mean, Schmo's saying in the chat, like, it feels like there's too many archetypes of guys that would be too slow to start. The counterpoint is, like, what if Philly just comes out hot as hell out the gate and all of the back-weighted production is masked by Eckler, Slayton, Hopkins being early starters and Reynolds. And then, all you need is Eagles and Henry to go Burr for like 3 weeks, which is so conceivable.
To me, this comment is ignoring our picks from 13 to 18, which are all fast start picks, and to Bowie. Like, if we had just kept ripping rookies, and we had that decision moment where we were looking at each other, do you want to take Ja'Cory Krosky-Barrett over Austin Eckler? But when you take Hunter Henry, Austin Eckler, Darius Slayton, DeAndre Hopkins, I guess you can throw Sean Tucker out of there, and Josh Reynolds, you are acknowledging this type of start. You're saying, hey, let me get Slayton and Hopkins to come along until, Higgins and Igbuka are ready to go. Let's get, Austin Eckler to score some points while Tootin or Jaden Blue emerge there. So yeah, I think that is why it's important to make those teams work. You say, hey, we're going to start this way. How do we make it work? I think we let that inform our later decisions. Our guy Tom. Oh, go ahead.
The last thing I'd say is there's a good point by Jerry in the chat that it's like, even if we had done the Baker Igbuka thing in the Higgins slot, so we had done it according to our plan, opposed to like eating it to come back, they both have 9 as bye weeks. So we would have had to tack on a third and burn another roster spot alongside higher capital too.
Let's see. Our guy Champ wants to see how he did out of the 5 spot. Gibbs Bucky gets Tyreek, Jamo, Rashi, Olave, Laporta, Mahomes with Rice, and then Kelsey, Goff with Jamo, Ramondre and Spears, Hollywood, Krosky, Merritt, Strange, Naylor, Franklin, Shuck. What am I, man? Naylor has he been getting drafted lately? That one's surprising me at 188.
Yeah, I guess he's just jamming a bring back to go alongside the Lions double or whatever Lions triple, I guess.
Yeah,
double. Yeah.
I think this team has like a ton of volatility. Obviously, like what's going on with Tyreek, Jamo, Rashi Rice, who knows? Tajay Spears is hurt. Hollywood Brown is hurt. It's not my favorite team, but I do like a lot of the some of the individual players here, and I like the stacks that you got.
Yeah, it's definitely showing off with the stacks, right? Like, oh yeah, we pre-planned this. I knew exactly what I was doing. I stacked it all out nicely. I even considered the bring back stacks by reaching a little bit there for them. So yeah, it's not my favorite team in the world. Agreed with you, but I do think it's pretty fun.
Yeah, and I assume he's doing the Naylor as a week 17 bring back there. Opposite, and the Chiefs mega stack is fun as well. I like the construction itself. The 2 running backs at the top, 4 wide receivers in that window, come back, get both of the quarterbacks with their tight ends, grab some 0 RB targets. I think a nicely constructed team there.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Good stuff. Unfortunate not to have Nez here. We will hope that he gets his internet back shortly. John, are you running any other streams today?
Yeah, this is going to redirect straight to baseball starting in 3 minutes there. So yeah, we'll be doing baseball and then following up Solver tomorrow. We're going to do a Solver show, Nez and I, and then we're going to do a Sidekick show on Thursday there. So lots of good stuff still coming from us in the usual 2 p.m. Eastern time slot this week.
Beautiful. For me tomorrow, fun episode of the randomizer on tap. It's Davis hosting as me and me guesting as Davis. So, I'm used to doing the Davis Maddock impression in like small little spurts. We're going to be in that character for an hour. We'll see how that goes, but should be chaotic and fun regardless. And then Best Ball Bash, as usual. If you're a YouTube member, join the bash in the chat at the top of the show. And I'll spin the wheel for one lucky winner to come on and draft a team with me. And then no ship chasing Thursday afternoon because we got our first main event draft there. We're doing that with Ron Stewart on Thursday night. So that'll be a good time as well. But otherwise, good luck in your draft. Send us screenshots if you get the triple Tucker and go watch the Badge Bros stream here coming up right after this. We'll see you guys next time on Off and On the Clock.